So talk to us
Absolutely.
about the developing, you talked about developing the idea of the Asher House. So you finally get this sanctuary. How did it become more of um, bringing in animals to take care of them and give them their forever home, as opposed to creating a place for you to just have dogs and other animals adopted out?
How did I say it one more time?
So it's more, Asher House is more of a place where animals can come now to live out their life, correct? As opposed to you creating a shelter for dogs to come and get adopted.
Yep,
And was that because you had more land and you figured, oh, I can
exactly.
really take
Yeah.
these in as a sanctuary?
There's a couple of reasons. So the first thing is the where we live, the county that we live when we bought the sanctuary. We weren't aware of this until after. But where we live, you're not allowed to adopt animals out from your home.
Oh,
You're
okay.
not allowed to have a rescue from your home. So we decided we have an amazing partner called New Life Animal, Family Dog New Life. We're starting to collaborate. So the Asher House's name is going to be in there soon. We're going to mesh it together and call it New Life Asher House.
Nice.
But for now, it's Family Dog New Life Animal Shelter, an amazing shelter in Portland. And they have it. Their shelter is set up like a daycare. So there's no kennels. All the dogs are there together. So we have partnered with them, and when we bring in animals that we believe will do well with the family, we bring them that we rehabilitate them there, get them to a certain place, and then family dogs will adopt them out. But a lot of the times we take in dogs, and people don't see this part, and they ask, like, please adopt that dog out, but they don't realize what that dog would be like outside of the pack. The amount of dogs and the type of people that we have here is such a healing environment for most dogs. Like 99.9% of dogs that come here have some sort of trauma, are neglected, starved. So they have so many trust issues that if they're ever put back in a similar environment,
Mhm.
right, that they were in before, it's this awful experience where it completely reverses everything and they just become a different, back to the original type of dog that they were. So a great example is we had this dog that they warned us would bite, would warn us would tear everything apart. This dog was beaten and neglected and completely starved. So we don't see those characteristics. When I take in a dog for some reason, I have nothing but confidence that this we can rehabilitate any dog, any living thing. We can take this animal and show him or her what love is. That's all an animal needs in order for it to not be aggressive or any of these things, right?
Right.
People act out when they're in pain. Animals act out when they're in pain.
Yeah.
So if we feel like an animal would continue acting out outside of the sanctuary, then he or she will stay here so that people can only see the beautiful side of that animal. But if we feel like an animal, man, this dog would really thrive if it just had a mom, or if it just had a dad, or if it had a family where it didn't have to fight for attention, then we adopt the animal out.
Yeah.
And it's something so beautiful because in the beginning, it was very hard for me to let go of an animal because I said to myself, like, they thrive here. I know that they're well taken care of. They get all the love, all the food. They get everything they need here. They have the pack. But up until recently, when we exceeded 50 dogs and we started adopting them out through our rescue partners, I hear the families, with the dogs, and I see the dogs look even happier with them than they did with me. And it brings me so much joy because it's really important to believe in people and to see the good in people. And as hard as hard as it is to hear the terrible stories, it makes the beautiful story so much better. We just adopted out this dog, Moisha, a bloodhound puppy, who's my dream dog. Giving, letting this dog go was like, I didn't know what was wrong with me, but I realized like everything that I do is not for dog. I'm here to make the dog's life better. And I knew Moisha would thrive better with a family. And that's exactly what he got. And I've never seen a happier dog. Like it's it's really a beautiful thing, man. It really is.
There's nothing like seeing dogs get adopted. I mean, I
Yeah.
can imagine that it's so hard for you because you spent so much time with them and built a relationship with them and a chemistry. But then there's also nothing like seeing a family that really wants this dog and wants to make them a part of their life. I think that's so great. Okay, I have a bunch of questions based on being
Yeah.
someone who, like anyone else, watches the Asher House on Instagram. And just there are a million questions that go along with watching you and your story. So I'm just going to
Sure.
fire through a couple of them. Okay.
Cool.
How do you
want me
pick?
to answer them quick? You want me to answer them quickly?
Sure. Yeah. Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to get into long answers. They're short questions. How do you pick
Okay.
who deserves to be rescued? It must be so hard.
Yeah. I mean, at this point, the dynamic of the pack has a lot to do with it.
Hmm.
So it's really not about the dog we're about to rescue. It's about the dynamic of the pack and what I feel would be a good addition to the energy of the pack.
Right.
So, for example, if I, let's say, which is true, last week I rescued a really high anxiety dog. Really high anxiety. If it has anything next to it, it chews it up. It's just always freaking out. Until I release the dog's anxiety, I will not adopt another dog. I will not bring another dog that matches that dog's energy, or else they'll feed off each other. You see what I'm saying?
Of course.
So it all depends on the dynamic of the pack and where the dogs are. That is how I decide which dog I bring in next.
And how does it work with dogs getting along? I mean, I have two right now, and I have a little one and I have a big one, and I just rescued the big one. And, you know, the big one was clearly abused before we brought it home and had all these issues that we didn't really know about. And then I have my little dog that I've had since almost birth, right? So they didn't get along so well. Now they do. But how does it work when in a big pack like that?
So imagine, and I've never used this analogy, so be kind to me. If you wanted to join a gang, right? And maybe there's a better word for it, but let's say there was a gang that you wanted to be a part of, okay? And the gang said, for you to be a part of our gang, you have to be okay with this, this, and this.
Mm-hmm.
No negotiation. That's it. You have to be okay with these 5 things. Then you enter. You are now a part. You are now doing those 5 things. What I mean by that is when a dog comes in, we have a big pack and we operate a certain way. With a dog, right, they are pack animals. So when a dog comes into the pack, it's already set up for them. The rules are at play. How the other dogs are acting and being, that dog realizes this is how I have to act and be. Why is that? Because if this dog comes into a gang, if this dog comes into a pack of 50 gang members and he says, I'm the king, what do you think is going to happen?
Yeah, it's not going to go over very well.
They're going to be like, fuck that. You know, I can tell you, right?
Yeah.
So